topic has got profound, and the way we source our value has got profound impact on pretty much every single aspect of our business and lives. Good morning, good evening, and welcome to this vertical versus horizontal source of value and its impact on our marketing, selling, profitability, and your way of life. Masterclass or mini training, call it what you like, but it's the topic that nobody ever asked me about. Lenka, please tell me, I need to know about vertical versus horizontal source of value. It's not something we generally think about or speak about. And yet, this topic has got profound, and the way we source our value has got profound impact on pretty much every single aspect of our business and life. So as conscious change makers or entrepreneurs with integrity, or spiritually open, if you like, or women who want to make a huge impact but don't want to give and sacrifice our health and life and integrity for it. This is absolutely a topic we all need to be intimately familiar with and understand. And that is what we're going to do here today. So first and foremost, I want to welcome you all. I can see a lot of you are hopping on live with me, so thank you very much. Please let me know who you are and where you're based. And if you're watching this on replay, I want to hear too. So look, especially you want to listen to this and you can let me know if you recognize any of this. If you ever caught yourself, let's say, really being a little bit anxious about whether your clients have got absolutely they need from you, whether they're getting results, and therefore you are trying to really deliver and over deliver so they really get results. So if you can recognize yourself in this, you want to listen. Or you really let's say discount because you really want to help other clients and you want them to succeed, so you discount and make crazy long payment plans. If that's you want to listen. Or if you're comparing yourself to other entrepreneurs, other women in your industry, and keep thinking, why the heck, what's wrong with me, why is it so easy for me, you want to listen. If there is so much that the vertical versus horizontal sourcing of value impacts, and ultimately it truly impacts success in our business, amount of clients we can serve, and the quantum leaps we're able to make or not able to make, and everything else in between. So let's dive right in. And I'm going to start with what is the vertical source of value. That's, for the purpose of understanding. So you can imagine your being as in pristine energetic form, let's say divine feminine in its pristine energetic form. This is when you are, and I know this phrase has got lots of wrong connotations or limiting connotations, full of self. Have you ever been told that you're full of self, or are you afraid to be full of self? But really in its pristine and pure form, the divine feminine within, let's say, and I talked about these archetypes in quite a few of my trainings and masterclasses, queen archetype within. We are all familiar with it, right? And can get in touch with that archetype in ourselves. So as a queen of your life, or if you like, queen of your universe, it's a very pristine, divine, powerful, loving, feminine energy. And in that pristine form, as a queen of your life, we source that value internally because we are full of that value, full of self. Now, this is the natural form, natural sourcing of the value. And we are pretty good at it as children. I mean, you've probably all noticed that children, toddlers, let's say, they pretty much love themselves quite a lot. They put quite high value on themselves. I cannot imagine a toddler literally, saying, I don't like myself. When we're tiny kids, as the time goes, of course, we know that between the ages 0 and 7, we go through imprint period when our conscious mind is not fully developed. We are still in very much hypnotic state, if you like, and we take everything in. So we know that over time we lose that connection, but as children, as toddlers and babies, we're completely whole and in the divine energy, full of self-value, and we just love ourselves. So, but of course, life happens. We adopt various assumptions and beliefs. With that, we decide what we should believe. Many of us decided at some point in life that because of one event or series of events, we decided I'm not good enough. And that is essentially the root limiting belief behind starting to source the value externally. And that is what starts to happen. In energetic terms, what starts to happen is divine feminine energy in its pristine form, where it feels it's not safe, it will split. We will split energetically. So what it looks like then, we have parts of energy over here, parts of energy over there, we put them also like split, and that source of value goes from inside, that's vertical, from that horizontal line in itself, like from inside, I'm worthy because I am. It's as simple, I'm worthy because I am. It goes horizontally. So we start sourcing the value through other people and things and circumstances. So as a drastic example, and forgive me, but it's easiest to explain, if you, the sexual abuse victims, over time, of course, not only they develop a strong belief they're not good enough, but they develop all sorts of issues like codependency, and essentially then they really need to go through healing process. Otherwise, they end up living through other people. They split their energy so much, yes, but that is drastic example. But far less drastic examples, and in far muted forms, any splittage of energy and any horizontal sourcing of value rather than vertical or internal, if you like, will show up in a business, in our, if you like, patterns, how we go about every area of business, and ultimately in our bottom line, in our fulfillment, in our purpose, sense of aliveness, etc., etc. So let's go through examples again. How it shows up when we then put the source of value horizontally. So again, one big example is beyond business is addictions. Any form of addictions, it's about sourcing that value, that void, that emptiness, if you like, horizontally, as I need to, collect another thing because I'm addicted to it, but don't believe I'm addicted to it, but I need to get that thing to really source that value, and I feel good about myself for like 5 minutes, and then I need to fill it up with something else. And it can be absolutely anything. But in a business, it can be first and foremost, we can get, if you like, we can put that value, source of value on any form of numbers. So for instance, if you ever were in a pattern or thinking, I put something on a social media, let me check how many likes I have. So I can decide based on that, whether that post, whether my contribution was worth it or not. Have you ever done that? Have you ever went and checked and thought, wow, nobody liked it, or it's got only this many likes, so maybe it's not as good as I thought, maybe I should take it down, or what's wrong with me, some form of thinking. You see? So this happens when we are attaching that source of value horizontally onto some numbers. And again, approval. Maybe it's a number of followers you have, as in, I don't have big tribe enough, so people won't believe me that I'm as good in my at my work as I am. So I need to maybe buy followers or really work hard on gaining lots more followers. So I do have that credibility. Okay, so that's definitely when we're sourcing value horizontally, we're attaching it to numbers. Or maybe it's literally sales month figures or amount on your bank account. I've heard this again and again when women tell me, I feel horrible because this is, I teach success and I didn't have a great month, let's say, or I was fine, but at the moment I have a little bit of financial lack, so I'm not feeling worthy. They may not say it like that, but essentially we attach almost like sometimes even a sense of identity to the fact that I have successful business, or I have this much money, or I have this sales revenues, or I have this. So whenever we're doing that, that's very unhealthy for us, of course, naturally, but also unsustainable, because the reality of a business is that is not always going to be this month I'm going to get this much, this month I'm going to get even more, and then even more, and then even more, and then even more. It's not even natural. Nature doesn't work like that. A tree doesn't set monthly goals. I've got to grow by 10 centimeters this month, and the next month I've got to grow by 12 centimeters, and then I've got to grow by a feet, by 1 foot, so it's more than the previous month. Nature doesn't work like that. Can you imagine? Nature is simply in flow, fully open to receive whatever it needs to receive from environment and do its thing. We're naturally wired to succeed, to thrive, to flourish, but it's when we are go unnatural out of wounding, right? And that is when part of it is, of course, when we start sourcing the value horizontally, that is when we feel like we need to outcompete everyone and especially ourselves. So this is when that, again, some of you may experience it when you kind of look around and get that sense of envy that or such and such had a great month or brought her business to a certain level and you haven't done it yet. So this is where it's coming from, that horizontal source of value. Yes. So that's, so we've got numbers, we've got external approval, the comparison there, and then of course it goes into the way we're serving, right? So I know I caught myself in past thinking along the lines, did I give clients absolutely everything they need to succeed? Like, how are they doing? Are they doing all right? Do they need something more? Do I need to give them something more? It's almost like taking that responsibility for them more than is mine. And I've done a separate masterclass on it, but it's ultimately because we fall into that placing, my clients needs to be fucking happy and shout about me, how incredible I am. And if they're not happy, maybe I'll feel less worthy. If they don't get the result right away, maybe I'll feel less worthy. So we're sourcing that value horizontally. And again, from perspective of, let's say, transformational work, and if you are in any business of transformational work, you know that as you work with a client, the most meaningful transformations and growth in any area of life does happen through some form of reorganizing everything in their energy and patterns and everything. So it's very normal that they will go through a period of unease, right? That it's they're actually not okay and happy and bubbly and satisfied, with you. We give clients what they need, not what they want. So sourcing the value horizontally really can cause some form of pleasing. Yes, it can even show up on sales conversations. I had a client who was coaching clients through marriage difficulties. And she said that, she, let's say, had a client who said, I want to divorce, but she knew immediately that it's not a bright idea because you will have this pattern again and again. But she said, I held back because what if I offend them? What if I what if I say something and they think, who am I to tell them? And that's because we want that external validation, that we want to be liked. So one mantra here as a detail is that will support you to not to do that, but serve and market and sell from healthy place is I'm here to make an impact, not to please people. Yes, I'm here to make an impact, not to be liked. The truth of the matter is that when you're in the powerful, divine feminine, empowered divine feminine, you are going to trigger some people along the way. Absolutely, it's a normal part of the process because you are change maker. So, and whenever you are change maker, you're disrupting something, right? You disruptor to a certain level, and therefore it will bring up whatever it needs to bring up in people to be part of the transformation. So it's very, very normal and natural for some clients not to be okay or not to be pleased or not to be whatever along the way. And just from this perspective, it's superbly important that we source the value internally rather than externally. Lastly, the sourcing value horizontally rather than vertically also is very much related to where we are looking for information, confirmations, and decisions. If we are sourcing value horizontally through other people and things, then what happens is we tend to really go into making the decisions and what is right or wrong based on what we think other people can do, can't do, etc. We just go outside of ourselves. One straightforward example that I mentioned before is the way, let's say, we decide our pricing, okay? So you've heard me speaking about this again and again. The aligned pricing is when you focus really on your superbly ideal soul aligned clients, which will be essentially a version of you, a client that you will absolutely love to serve. And you focus on that highest level result with that client. So the pricing, aligned pricing, and you feel it, you know it intuitively, is when that pricing point will stretch that client enough so the number one can see the value in what you've got to offer. The pricing guarantees that they will surrender fully to the process, that they will commit to the process rather than thinking, oh, I'm going to try if it works or not. So it guarantees they'll surrender and commit to the process. And number three, that you're well financially rewarded. But if we go into that external sourcing of decisions and what is right pricing, then we think what they can afford. What do I need to make that pricing, let's say, so I make it easy for them, you know? So that is unhealthy. That is unhealthy for us as a business owners. We're nobody bankers, but when the prices are aligned and we start sourcing value internally, then we don't do anything in business in the way we serve, trying to fit people, but rather we attract people to us by who we are. It's a way more fulfilling, way more quicker way to expand and put the growth of your business at a full throttle, okay? Similarly, if we are sourcing that value horizontally, we will tend to overgive. We will tend to, yes, like over nurture, and I mentioned these things already, okay? So have you noticed some of these patterns in your business? Have you noticed some of these patterns? If you did, because we're going to now talk about what we can do about it, and how can we then make sure that if you recognize, oh, sugar, actually I am sourcing my value externally, and that profoundly impact my behaviors and bottom line, then what can we actually do about it? So first and foremost, I would suggest, if you haven't yet, to watch my other masterclass I did a few months ago that was called Balancing Feminine and Masculine Energy for Rapid Business Growth. Because in there, you will get a better overview of what are the healthy and distorted feminine and masculine patterns. And yes, a lot of these patterns are attached to sourcing the values externally. So this is almost like a follow-up class. But if you haven't, one of my ladies will definitely link this in the comments for you, and you'll want to watch it. But in terms of what can we do about it and call that value in, so few things, let's go through them. Number one, and this is a biggie, if you know that you have some either unresolved or suppressed trauma in your life, you absolutely want to invest in you and your time into healing those aspects of you, okay? And this is any unresolved significant emotions and past events, okay? Because we people, by society, we are quite well trained to suppress our emotions, to not deal with them fully. And when we don't do that, when we don't fully resolve any particular significant events, whatever they might be, it might be relationship with your parents, and maybe your parents were you had a really tough relationship. It could be anything, any sort of what you consider is almost like traumatic, or unresolved significant events. If you still, when you think about it, and truly when you get in touch with it, if you still feel some negative emotion coming up, even if you worked on it in past, that, can happen too, that you think you worked on particular thing, particular event in past, but when you think about that event and you still get emotional, or speak about event and you get emotional, please, that's like the basic big thing. You want to invest your time and energy in healing the trauma, and you can do it through, therapies, definitely journaling. It's not like, today, you will get rid of that trauma. You want to attend to it, because what's also happening here, and it's closely related, thing number two is you want to work with your inner child, especially if those significant events happened before age of 7, but even after. We want to attend to our inner child, because what happens with any traumatic events or any, it really is that develop, it can cause lots of things. But one of those things is sure as heck going to be sourcing that value horizontally, sourcing your value horizontally, and developing belief that you're not good enough, okay? Now, these things, of course, are not immediate. Now, with, again, inner child, best to work with professional. But again, even, let's say, what you can do with your inner child, which is aspect of us we all have, is to meet your inner child in your heart center, connect with the little you in a heart center. Notice how she or he comes up. As in, because it's all symbolic, right? So sometimes they come up as happy, sometimes it's chained and strained. So notice as they come up and have that conversation, ask them what they need, ask them what they want, and work with your inner child to soothe your inner child and give yourself love. Essentially, we've got to, as a women, and in today's society, we've got to parent ourselves and nurture ourselves big freaking time. So that's really important. And there is a lot more, you can introduce more play in your life, plush toys or whatever, but please don't ignore your inner child, because I know I did. And then I was wondering why this freaking I'm not good enough and all of this sourcing. Why am I still comparing myself? Why it's so hard? Why is it, if we're not attending to the core of it, the working with inner child and really releasing any stuck emotions from past, unresolved past, then we will continually have these issues. We've got to come to the root cause and deal with them. And it's a process, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. In terms of releasing those trauma and unprocessed, stuck, suppressed negative emotions from past, Now, there are many various professionals that can help you. Even journaling and offloading and raring, as I call it, that helps. My favorite way, and I realize I'm terribly biased, is using the timeline therapy. For it, I have trained coaches, I'm trained in it, and I know personally that really helped me. Timeline therapy is essentially energy work using the concept of timeline. But please look into it. If you feel it kind of resonates and you have got events that you still feel a little emotional about, or your inner child has been neglected, those two areas you absolutely want to look at and work with them, work with those aspects of yourself. I'll just one little note before we move on. I don't want anyone to invent trauma, okay? Like, I'm not saying this to suggest that because you're sourcing the value horizontally, it must be because you have some trauma. And I'm saying this because what I'm noticing in the coaching space is it's very easy to suggest that you have this problem where you might not have not. I'll give you a straightforward example. Somebody mentioned that, oh, I was on such and such call with such and such person, and they suggested that they said that I probably have unresolved trauma from before age of 7, and so I'm looking for it, what happened, because it's clearly suppressed. Do not ever even go there, okay? It's not that I was angry, but I was like, fucking hell, you have no right to say something like this. Because as a change makers, our words truly matter. It truly matters what you say to other person, and especially if you say open, oh, you probably had a trauma and you're not aware of it. So let's look for it. It can cause so much trouble. I'm not even going there, but you can probably see how unhealthy this can be. So you'll immediately know if you have got some events in the past that you feel are unresolved, what you need to work on. Do not think that is suppressed and there must be something that is holding you back, that clearly, because you're not moving forward, there must be something that's holding you. That's when that is limiting belief in itself. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that. Secondly, even awareness of how you are actually placing value horizontally, and willingness to break that patterns can do so much. So I went through a few ways how we do this in business and life. So you can sit down and reflect fully. Ask yourself, it's almost like journaling prompts. How and where am I sourcing my value horizontally in business and life, in all areas of life? Where am I looking for approval from others, from other people or other things? Where do I want to please people? Where do I overgive? Where do I over nurture? Where do I seek being liked over making impact? Does it make sense? So you want to fully reflect on your business and life in all areas of life. Where are you engaging in these behaviors that come from sourcing the values horizontally? And when you are aware of it, you can simply ask yourself, how can I break this pattern today? So breaking the pattern is essentially about taking out of this awareness, which is powerful in itself, knowing where am I not doing something healthy for myself. Out of this, you can identify a specific action which is in completely different direction. So you can, let's say, for a moment, once you're aware, let's say you identify, oh, you know what, I am overgiving in my programs. Okay, in my programs or in my one-on-one coaching, I'm overgiving, so I'm tired, because I really want that approval. I'm really want that client to succeed, and so I'm going way beyond. I'm breaking my boundaries, and I'm still, I'm coaching too much on Voxer or whatever it might be. So that's not healthy. That's because I'm sourcing the value horizontally in that way. So, okay, you identified. So what you can do is connect with the queen archetype within you. You can just imagine that as a queen of your life and really, really connect. What would it be like if I was a queen of my life? If, let's say, my business was at its fullest and I would really be in a full value of self. How would I go about this? What would I do here? So we'll identify some action that will be aligned with sourcing value internally with that queen archetype in you, which might be about, let's say, stay with this example, you're going to send email to all your one-on-one clients that from now on, you will not work out of your hours, or you limit the Voxer coach, whatever it might be, for their benefit. And it's always for the benefits. If you're over delivering, and you pull out of over delivering and start serving in a healthy way, it's not just for your benefit, it's for benefits of clients. Because when we're over delivering, we are wanting to save, like we are robbing our clients of opportunity to go in for resources. They'll start getting dependent on us, not healthy. So it's always for everyone's benefit. Might not be comfortable, will not be comfortable, but ultimately when you do that, when you take that action, and I call it quantum action, that is in alignment with that powerful you, divine feminine you, and you're aware that it's right. Yes, it's gonna be highly comfortable, probably, but the result of it is going to integrate so many internal issues. That quantum action can almost like be worth of months of therapy and journaling and inner work, etc., really. So I'm a huge fan of just even the idea of awareness and identify what is that quantum action here and breaking that pattern with that action. Please do let me know that it makes sense. I'm talking about this quite a lot. It should make sense. But so identify, how can you then demonstrate the change? How can you shift this by breaking that pattern? Yes, so that is the gist of it. And then to support this work, support this changing, so working through releasing those emotions, any form of trauma in the past, working with inner child, and awareness plus breaking the patterns that don't serve you. To support this, you can do this whenever you feel to do, but you can literally connect with your inner source of value, and we can do this together. Okay, it takes moments, but you can do this together with me now. How about that? And you can use this tool going into the future. So for that purpose, I will ask you to close your eyes, make yourself comfortable, make yourself steady. And I want you to start drawing the energy in from wherever it might be. You simply just imagine you suck it up, all that energy, whatever might calling your attention, bring it back into yourself. And I want you to imagine that you're going to connect with your midline, which is white, bright, sparkly line, the energetic center that connects all your energetic centers. So it's going from the top of your head, through crown chakra, all the way down through your throat chakra, down, down, down through your spine, all the way to the bottom of the spine. So connect with that, go there. And as you do, send that energy down through your feet. Imagine that energy reaching earth and deep, deep down center of the earth. Connecting with Mother Nature energy, Gaia, who lovingly embraces you and wraps itself around you like an ivy to hold you, to nourish you, to steady you, to ground you. And then imagine traveling up this midline of yours, this center of self, and go up through your crown, open your crown and send that energy upwards until you meet the source of universal blissful energy, white sparkling energy, which in return will start cascading over you, becoming one with you, filling you up. So now you intend for this white sparkly energy, the essence of the universe, the essence of creator within, the essence of self, filling you up from within, penetrating all the spaces in your being, all the cells and atoms and space in between the atoms, activating you and dissolving everything and anything that is not in absolute alignment with who you really are, with your highest purpose. And notice that energy expanding and filling you up even beyond your physical being. So you bathe in this energy. This is the source of everything you want. This is the source of everything you need. This is the source of your value. That energy of self, infinitely loving, infinitely creative, infinitely powerful. And here, proclaim, I am, and your name, and I am the queen of my life. I am the queen of my business, and I am the queen of my universe. And I call all my divine feminine energy into myself. I call in all the power that belongs to me. I am all loving, all powerful, divine. I am whole. And with that, bask in this energy of self just a little more. Again, notice that connection to self and that vertical line connecting you up to the universal possibilities and love, and down to the nurturing love of Gaia. And this is the basis of you as a creator and of every miracle you could ever wish for. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay. So, welcome back. So this is just a little practice. And for some of you, those that are using, let's say, activation meditation, or did with me different journeys, or you will be a little familiar with it, because this is what we do pretty much with every journey. But this is the basis of connecting to the internal and the vertical source of your value. So this will support you in the work you do to call in that energy and break those patterns that no longer serve you. It won't do it for you, but it will massively support you. So use this little practice. You can do this quite quickly, right? So that is what is the horizontal versus vertical sourcing of our energy. I want to hear from you. Did you identify the source of your energy? Is it currently horizontal? Is it vertical? And if it's horizontal, what are you going to do about it? I want this to be of a real use. So what truly matters is what we do after here, okay? And just a little reminders or updates, if you like. I want to first and foremost acknowledge all those of you that so far joined the Claim Your Quantum Leap experience. If you haven't heard, this is my brand new free 4-day training, including the bonus integration session that is happening soon. We're starting on 8th, I think, of February. And if you have bigger dreams than life and want to utilize the limitless power of your energy, I warmly invite you to join us. I will be bringing you the latest from energetics, as well as some repetition from the past, which is always helpful, but I cannot tell you how excited I am. This is truly focusing on quantum leaping, creating mind-blowing results. Of course, I experienced them myself, but more and more clients, it's just delicious to facilitate like literally mind-blowing results with clients. So this is going to be, you're going to understand the mechanics of what it takes to really say 5 times, 10 times your revenues with harmony and ease, not with sacrifice and freaking hard work and being slave to your business or anything like that, by in a healthy divine feminine energy. So it will really, really serve you. I will also want to acknowledge a couple of my new mastermind clients. I can see one of them here. I'm opening, we haven't started yet, a brand new elite VIP mastermind from February. So this will be the second mastermind group. So I'm calling in those of you who have got established businesses and are really looking to scale to 7 figures and beyond. If you want like the really, really highest level of support and power, you experience the power of energetics in your business, I invite you to reach out. So let's see if we can create some miracles together. And again, I would love to hear your takeaways from this, honoring each and every one of you. And I will see you definitely on 8th of February when we start with Quantum Leap, or before. So much love to you. Bye-bye.